And thank you for joining us. There's a heavy police presence on Thunder Bay's south side this afternoon.
Multiple intersections are blocked off near the corner of May and Arthur Streets. Cruisers and officers in tactical gear with weapons drawn were on scene, focusing on a multi-residential unit in what appeared to be a standoff situation. People passing by were warned by police that there may be a firearm involved. An individual was seen walking towards officers with their hands up, though their involvement is unclear. Not long after, several other people exited the building and were taken into custody. We hope to have more details on the Late Edition News at 11.
Municipal election officials in the city have identified what's being called a procedural irregularity in the initial hours of online voting. On Wednesday, the issue caused 27 McKellar Ward voters, about 0.2% of the total voters in the ward, to receive a mislabeled internet ballot meant for those in Red River. Due to the secrecy of the ballot, it's unclear if anyone in McKellar cast a vote for a Red River candidate. If they did, they're now unable to vote again and correct it. That means if either the Red River or McKellar races are decided by 27 votes or fewer, a by-election will be needed in those wards. Returning Officer Krista Power wants to assure voters that the issue has now been addressed and that online voting is secure.
We really do want people not to see this as a deterrent to voting. We want people to continue to participate in the municipal election. We want them to be assured that we're here today to tell you about this anomaly because that's important for transparency. We don't anticipate any further challenges. If there were to be further challenges, we'd report them immediately.
As of this morning, more than 3,000 voters in the city had already cast their ballots.
Tonight, we continue our candidate profiles for the ward races in Thunder Bay. This time, we'll focus on Northwood, which will see new representation for the first time in 8 years. Vasilios Bellos reports.
There's going to be a fresh face in Northwood as current councillor Shelby Chung decided to run at large this time around. One of the 5 candidates looking to fill that vacancy is Bill Dell. His experience includes managing at the Valhalla Inn and working in construction. Dell believes he would be a good fit for council as he won't shy away from what needs to be done.
I don't speak politically correct. I say the words that are necessary to bring the issue forward. I think that with my background and with my knowledge and with my common sense, I would be a good fit for Northwood.
Saeed Kabir has experience in advertising, is an avid volunteer, and worked as the president of the Young Professionals Network. Kabir is confident he can bring a new vision to City Hall.
New strategy and to adopt new technologies and new policies to tackle these problems. We cannot tackle the problems with this, whatever we have been trying for the last 10 years, right? It's clear that it's not working.
Chris Crumples has been a member of the Sister Cities and the Anti-Racism and Inclusion Advisory Committees. Crumples feels his understanding of the local political scene sets him aside from the others in Northwood.
I'm in City Council every Monday night. As you've seen, I'm in all the wards. I've spent time on the Anti-Racism Committee. I've spent time on the Sister Cities Committee, so I've learned about what's going on in the trenches. So I understand some of the inner workings of the city already. I already know a lot of the policies and procedures.
Mike Marr enjoyed a successful law practice for 7 years and is familiar with business and policing the city. Marr believes his background sets him aside from other candidates.
The skills and ability and a clear plan to find some dollars, some funding for everybody, but that's going to impact Northwood in a meaningful way. And I really think that that there's a big difference between the skills that I'm bringing to the table and the skills that my friends are.
The 5th candidate in Northwood is Dominic Pascalino. He's well known to many as the longtime union president at the Alstom railcar plant. Pascalino believes his skill set is very transferable to a seat on city council.
I have a great work ethic, and I am a person that is compassionate, and I understand the needs of what people need. I've already been doing this basically for 11 years.
Vasilios Bellos, TBT News.
And on Monday, we'll hear from the candidates running in the McIntyre ward.
The municipality of Nebing hosted an all-candidates forum last night at the Blake Community Hall. Current Mayor Erwin Butekoffer has chosen not to run, leaving 2 candidates vying to take over the mayor's seat. Ziggy Polkowski served as Niebing mayor from 2010 to 2018 and is looking to make his return to politics. He's running against Mark Thibert, a current councillor for the Blake Ward and a plastic surgeon. The two mayoral hopefuls addressed Niebing voters alongside the 10 candidates running for 6 councillor positions. They outlined their campaign goals and answered questions from those in attendance. Thibert wants to see growth in the municipality, while Polkowski wants to enhance Niebing's existing services.
If I want to change anything, I'd like to continue with chip sealing the roads, look after the fire department, first responders, bring the clinic back if we possibly can, any type of medical clinic to the municipality, which we badly needed.
I am aggressively a can-do attitude person, and I have been always an agent of change and moving forward, and my style of leadership will be one to pursue things aggressively until we can accomplish them for the community. I'm not going to stop until we get the answer yes for everything that we need for our community.
The municipality of Niebing has just over 2,000 residents. Advanced polls will be available on October 15th and 18th at the Niebing Municipal Office.
The Transportation Safety Board has released its final report regarding a plane crash north of Sioux Lookout on March 8th. The small aircraft was destroyed, but fortunately, the 2 people on board suffered only minor injuries. The crash occurred on the frozen surface of Lac Seul Lake. The Cessna plane was operated by Bemidji Air, based in Sioux Lookout. The plane had left the Sioux airport at around 1 p.m., right after a snow squall had passed through. The plane had traveled around 30 kilometers northwest when it encountered turbulence and another snow squall. The TSB says the whiteout conditions combined with the snow-covered lake below caused spatial disorientation for the pilot, which led to the crash. The agency recommends planning ahead to avoid such weather conditions or climbing above the clouds when a whiteout occurs.
A local man who had been wanted by police has now been arrested. The 37-year-old faces a long list of weapons charges in connection with a sexual assault earlier this week and another weapons offense back in August. Officers with the Thunder Bay Police Service's Bear Unit apprehended the suspect on Wilson Street yesterday afternoon. He faces 10 charges in all, including sexual assault with a weapon. He appeared in court today and has been remanded into custody.
New data from Norwest Community Health Centers and its Path 525 service shows a substantial increase in reversed overdoses from last year, in part due to the increasing level of toxic drugs on the street. Naloxone is the most commonly used remedy to reverse potentially fatal overdoses. So far this year, Path 525 has helped to save 117 lives. That's up from 90 all of last year, and it's a significant jump from 2019, when the staff were able to reverse 8 overdoses. Director of Health Services Jennifer Lawrence called the findings a clear indicator of the growing percentage of contaminated drugs in the community. And that's why Norwest has acquired new Canadian-made equipment that will allow for users to test their drugs for harmful chemicals at Path 525.
This actually tells you what you've got. So I'll give you an example. Someone had tested what they thought was cocaine, and there was 0% cocaine in it. There was etonitazine, crystal meth, and fentanyl in it. So that's a huge difference, and that could be lethal.
Norwest officials also hope to establish a site on the north end of Thunder Bay in order to better serve the community equally. But government funding for additional locations has not yet been made available.
Ontario school workers are giving the provincial government one last chance to come to the table and negotiate. Otherwise, a strike may be in the near future.
If we do not have any real negotiations happening by the end of the day, we will be requesting a no board report.
Talks between the union and the province are still at a standstill, and CUPE's school board staff union says it will request a no board report by the end of the day if no progress is made. A no board report would start the process for a potential walkout or strike. The union represents 55,000 custodians, educational assistants, and office staff. The announcement comes a day after Premier Doug Ford begged the union to not go on strike.
Some public health units in Ontario are sounding the alarm that the spread of COVID-19 is on the rise in the province. The number of people hospitalized with COVID-19 has reached a 2-month high, and public health is warning of resurgence of the virus. Algoma Public Health says there are signs of increased transmission and more high-risk cases across that region, along with more outbreaks and hospitalizations from the virus. The region's acting medical officer of health says people should keep following public health precautions and get vaccinated. Epidemiologists and health experts have raised concerns in recent weeks as 2 new subvariants of Omicron have appeared in Europe.
The Thunder Bay Professional Firefighters Association is teaming up with the Salvation Army for the annual Thanksgiving turkey dinner this Sunday, and they were at the Journey to Life Center this morning getting everything ready. Hundreds of potatoes were peeled and other food was prepared as well by the firefighters who volunteer their time to help with the cause. The meal will once again be offered in a drive-through format to hundreds of people who can't afford a full turkey dinner with all the fixings. Firefighter Kevin Anderson says these volunteer opportunities are a crucial extension of their service to the community.
You know, we are first responders, we're on the streets, we see the people in need, so we understand that, you know, this is important to them to be able to come out and have a dinner for various reasons, you know, whether they don't have money or mental health issues, so we see it, so it's an easy thing. We put the message out to the guys and you know, as you see, we got a lot of numbers out on their time off.
I think this is a fantastic partnership with the firefighters. This will be our 25th year, and it's our ability to give back to the community. This is a time of year that we have so much to be grateful for, and it's a lonely time for many people, so we're very happy to do this.
Sunday's meal will be served from noon until 2 p.m. outside the Salvation Army's Journey to Life Center on Cumberland Street. Iron Range bus lines will provide free service from City Hall and the Water Street bus terminal.
October is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and to help recognize that, Delico Anishinaabe Family Care launched a new children's book today titled How I Found My Voice to kick off their annual Step Up campaign. Ogden Community Public School was happy to play host with children of all grades in attendance. The author of the book, Megan Gagliardi, was there to read to the children and then took the time to answer any questions they had. The book's title is meant to encourage children and youth to find the courage to speak up for themselves and for others. Gagliardi describes the process of bringing the idea to life and the importance of collaboration.
So this book came to fruition when Delico, where I work, wanted to find a way to empower children from our communities in the Robinson Superior area to find their voice, and all other children as well, of course. And when Blythe brought this idea forward, I volunteered to join the team to develop this book, and it was the most amazing experience to work with a variety of different people.
I think it's important because it allows the kids to see themselves within the story. There's not a lot of well-written Indigenous literature out there that gives kids the opportunity to see themselves, and I think when they can identify with the character in that book, it gives them the opportunity to actually see that they can have that voice, and it kind of connects them differently in a way that is probably beneficial for them to speak up and speak their truths, that kind of thing.
Events like this will be happening throughout the month of October to bring awareness and remind the public that everyone is responsible for the health, happiness, and well-being of children and youth.
Well, Fiona, not a bad day to stay inside and read a book if that option was available to you. It's a little cool out there once again today.
Just a little bit nippy this morning. We didn't actually drop below freezing last night, which was a nice surprise. We were expecting that was going to be the case, but we only hit a low of 1 Celsius. Unfortunately, we only hit a high of 7, which is well below the norm of about 12 is where we want to see at this time of year. Winds were light for most of the day, around 8 to 10 kilometers per hour, but there were some brief periods when it really kicked up a notch up to 30 kilometers per hour, but it was coming from the northwest, so it was definitely cooler air. Similar temperatures to the west. At this hour, we're at 6 in Atikokan, 8 in Fort Francis, although they've got a lot more sunshine than some areas. 7 in Kenora and Dryden and up into Red Lake. Sioux Lookout, both with mostly cloudy conditions. 6 in Armstrong. A little bit cooler in Greenstone, 3 Celsius under partly cloudy skies. That's matching Marathon at this hour, and Sault Ste. Marie under a fair amount of cloud at this time. They're just at 4 Celsius. Now, here in the city of Thunder Bay, it is going to be another cool one. We're expecting tonight that we will slip below the freezing mark. under partly cloudy skies. However, if you've been finding it just a little bit too cold, I have good news. It is going to be a little bit more seasonal for tomorrow as we head into the weekend, and there is some warmer air to the southwest that's going to push its way in over the course of the weekend. Over the course of the weekend, we're also going to see more and more sunshine as the days progress. I'll have more details on what that will look like later on in the news hour.
Okay, well, I'll take seasonal and sunshine after what we've had over the last couple of days. Thanks a lot, Fiona. Well, the Prime Minister announced some tough new immigration measures against the Iranian regime today. We'll have all the details as your Friday News Hour continues.
We will be pursuing a listing of the Iranian regime, including the IRGC leadership.